Fader came about at a really interesting time. We really just wanted to document culture, and at the time we were just a promotion company working in the music industry. And someone that worked up here, Lee Harrison, and I had come up with the idea of why don't we document? We have great writers around us, great artists around us. Let's do something that really captures the spirit of the culture of hip hop. And we really just did it as like a one-off to start and showcase our DJ network that we had called the Cornerstone 1200 Squad. And we put this magazine together. Funkmaster Flex was on the cover of the first issue of the Fader. This was back, I think, in '98. And we just realized when we put that issue out and sold a couple of pages of advertising, I think to Nike and maybe one of the record labels, and we just kind of put it out there that there was a real hunger for like a very genuine music magazine. And we weren't just entrenched in hip hop. I remember like the second issue, we went to Run Zach and Premier on the cover, and then we had Beck and D'Angelo on the cover. And we realized between my taste, musical taste, and John, my partner's musical taste, that there was a real, if we could just make a magazine about great music, from Beck to D'Angelo at the time, or Outkast to De La Soul and Eminem, to the White Stripes to NERD, like something really special there. And it just kind of evolved. Neither one of us ever thought we'd, publish a magazine. But it was something that came about. We were really excited about it, and it just kind of took on a life of its own. And to where we're now a, full media entity with online properties, with the magazine, with the record label, Fader Label. We've made about 4 films on Fader Films. So it's been an exciting, creative side to working with brands. It's been really given us an opportunity to work in a space where we could just be creative on our own and not live within certain parameters. I think what it says, what the Fader says to some of our Cornerstone clients is look what these guys have done with their own brand. We've stayed very true to what the Fader is, and the Fader, again, being its own entity, has really been able to develop and be first in so many ways. I mean, I think about the first covers we have, and from Kanye West's first cover to, I think this past year we had Nicki Minaj, her first cover, Drake, his first cover, White Stripes, their first cover, and the list goes out, Damian Marley. I mean, we've given so many artists their first cover that, that is an unprecedented track record. I remember when Kanye was starting out and the way he got that cover, he came up here to my office, and it was kind of funny because he was going around recently, going to like, all the different .coms and performing in their office. He did that in my office probably, it's gotta be 7-8 years ago now, when no one really knew who he was. He was a producer. And I had heard of him obviously from his production, but while we were talking, Kanye just kind of looked at me and said, "Hey, can I put my CD in your CD player?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." He kind of was a little nervous. He put it in. The second he put it in, he just like lit up and he started rhyming. And within a minute or 2 minutes, the whole office, and we were much smaller than probably about 20, 30 people were piled in my office like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And he just killed it. And from there, we're like, "We want to give you the cover." So it kind of becomes where the Fader is just, part of these artists' lives, and they respect the Fader too, that, we end up getting them their first covers.